It's Madden NFL 22, and the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the Patriots and the Steelers, and it's coming up next.
Right at the convergence of the Three Rivers on Art Rooney Drive, we welcome you to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This was the scene just a few moments ago as the Pittsburgh faithful were fired up by the hometown Steelers taking the field. They're all set as they'll match up with the New England Patriots. Brennan Gordon alongside, as always, my partner Charles Davis. And CD, in the few moments here before kickoff, let's give these folks at home a look at these two offenses by the numbers. What stands out to you?
Brandon, I just continue to be amazed by the analytics of the game, and it's an area where I continue to concentrate and study because I'm still trying to figure out how coaches and coordinators can really crunch the numbers and find where exactly on the field the defense is vulnerable. It's the game within the game. And if you really dive into it, it can be endlessly fascinating.
Here we go from Heinz Field as Chris Boswell tees it up and boots it away. On the return is J.J. Taylor. And he won't quite make it to the 25. So here come the Patriots to take over on offense. They'll be led by the Heisman finalist from a season ago, the rookie from Alabama, Mac Jones.
Mac Jones absolutely believed in himself coming out of high school. Went to Alabama despite the fact there are many high-profile quarterbacks already on the roster and blossomed into a Heisman Trophy candidate in his final season with 41 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions. Steady, consistent as a passer, doesn't have the biggest cannon for an arm, but can stretch the field and lay those passes in on the deep ball.
Now Jones. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. Tyson Alualu. Never giving up. He works his way to the QB for a loss of 12. How about the defense there trying to set the tone on the very first play of the game?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a glow here tonight because they brought the heat right out of the gate. What a good job establishing a tone for this one.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Throwing Jones. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete.
Well, as we get ready for 3rd down, let's go back and recap here. The sack on the first play of this drive, that threw a wrench in what they were trying to accomplish because they were compelled to throw the ball on 2nd down. A running play was not in the works. And that incompletion set up another passing down here on 3rd and long.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He'll let this go deep for Bourne. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll be quarterbacked, of course, by a 2-time Super Bowl champion in his 18th NFL season. It's Ben Roethlisberger.
And what a career we've seen from Ben Roethlisberger. Awfully consistent, tough, durable, strong in the pocket, great leader, a guy who stands in and throws it downfield, and has also added to his game the ability to get the ball out of his hands quickly and let his guys do work downfield.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 37. And they'll run for the first time with Najee Harris. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Oh, boy, hang tight here. Down on the field, Juju Smith-Schuster. And everybody on that sideline holding their breath. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. From midfield now, here's Roethlisberger. And they get to him with the pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. He'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down. Tell you what, he did not have much time there to scan the field before he was ducking and covering.
Did it appear to you, as it did to me, that the defensive front won their play really quickly, meaning the guys in front of them had almost no chance to block them? They were on him in a hurry.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. They hand this off to Harris. And he'll push his way up to about the 44 here. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on 3rd down. No score after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter action from Pittsburgh. It is the Steelers in control of the football as they've got it with a 3rd down and long coming up. Now Ben on 3rd and long. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete. Certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down. 3rd down, he tried to stay in bounds, did all he could. He caught it, but was led a little bit too far.
Yeah, and that's always difficult, isn't it? Because you know half of your body is trying to stay behind while the other half is reaching out, trying to catch the football. The top half worked. It was the bottom half that was in question.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. So back onto the field come the Pats for their 2nd drive. They've been playing the field position game thus far. No score, 2nd quarter as they come up on 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Jones. He's going to look downfield for Henry. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
I believe I'm following their logic. Take the big shot downfield, loosen things up. You're hoping to get some points on the board before the half. Maybe now you come back and throw some underneath stuff in order to make sure you get a completion.
To throw again on 2nd down. Jones. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
And indeed, that's what they'll do is they run it here. And he'll get it up to the 12-yard line here. The Steelers signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The Patriots send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. It's a 45-yard punt, just a 1-yard return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their second offensive possession. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, do you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
Throwing now, Roethlisberger on first down. Going for the deep ball. And that is incomplete.
This defense not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. They came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Roethlisberger will throw. And he goes down. It's a Patriots sack. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So the sack and now a 3rd and long situation for the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger. On the give, this is Harris, and he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Now the Patriots will use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The Steelers send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the second time. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Patriots take over. Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. Tie ball game, still a little more than a minute to go in the half. The question, can they put something together here, try to take that lead into intermission?
I would have to think that would be the goal for sure. I don't think you sit on anything here. Here's your opportunity. Push it downfield. As you mentioned, it's a tie game. So minus a disaster on your part, you've got that in your back pocket. Go ahead and try and get some points and feel great going into the half.
Jones on 1st and 10. He's going to wind up and air it out. And the defense loses him. It's complete. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. A big play there for the Patriots. For an offense that has not found the end zone yet, that's a big play.
There's the spark right there. The big play that they needed. Now they've got to go ahead and finish this drive and put this ball in the end zone.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Back to throw. Jones. Open man is Myers. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
From the 29, Jones. This one to Bourne, and he's got it. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
Now, how about this throw right here? Had to throw it to the left sideline, and you know the timing's got to be correct on this one. Ball's got to be right where it needs to be, and it was. That's because he had great arm strength on that one, able to drive the football. Quarterbacks love it when they can show off their arms.
The Patriots into the red zone for the first time. It's 1st and 10 at the 14. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. This one to Bourne out on the left side. The Patriots will take their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. So not quite a 1st and goal just yet as they come up now 2nd and inches. Back to throw again. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. It's a loss of 4 on what ought to be the final act of this first half. So we've hit halftime in what was obviously a very fast-moving first half of play. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome everyone to this abridged version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. First things first, though, let's get a check on the next-gen stats from that first half for New England. And there's not much to speak of in terms of passing efficiency, but in a tie game, they know a few tweaks could make a big difference going forward. Meanwhile, for the Steelers, we get a look at their numbers on the ground in that first half, as they'll be looking to rev things up here in a tie ball game.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. So no scoring in our first half. What will the second half bring as we are now back underway? And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. And the Steeler offense ready to get going here in this third quarter. And Charles, a scoreless first half. How does that change how you assess things here moving forward?
Well, it doesn't change it a whole lot because, remember, it's still scoreless, which means you're starting from 0 again, so you just have one half to play instead of 2. What I would look at my play sheet, though, and see is something that maybe loosens things up for my guys, gets a smile on their faces, and gets them going to begin the second half.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. The Pats are going to get there. Down he goes. Matt Judon. What a play by him. That's going to go as a loss of 13. But when you see a quarterback retreating away from the line of scrimmage toward the other goal line like that, usually doesn't end well.
You're exactly right about that. Normally, if they're moving from side to side, they've got a chance maybe to get back upfield. He was trying to shake defenders and extend the play, but it doesn't work out very well for them at all. You need those extra yards on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Now you're digging a hole for your offense.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Roethlisberger. Completion here to Claypool. An extra corner comes on now for the Patriots D on 3rd down. That's going to set him back 5 yards.
Still 3rd down.
after the delay. They're backed up even further for 3rd and long. Here's Roethlisberger to throw. The completion good. This is Eric Ebron. And a loose football.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's hit, boy.
0 turnovers in this game so far. The trend continues, but barely. Offense lucky that one went out of bounds.
Yeah, they're very fortunate because when a game's going along like this one and neither side has turned the ball over, sometimes that first one can really flip things to their advantage in this type of a game.
The Steelers send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. Good coverage there holds him to just a 2-yard return following a punt of 44. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Here comes the Patriots offensive unit. They'll have it first here to begin the 3rd quarter. And, Charles, we've seen almost 3 full quarters now, and neither offense can really get it going. Neither has hit the end zone, and neither side seemingly can make that big play.
But the game hasn't been devoid of action because these two defenses, they've taken over and they've slugged it out. But I think you're exactly right. We're at that stage of the game now where one of these offenses, if they make a big play, that could be the difference.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Jones. Complete. It's Henry. 3 yards the gain there. 2nd down. Going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh as we are just about set to go here in quarter number 4. On 2nd down now, it's Harris. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. Now Jones. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, the defense certainly did its job. They held up in that situation, and now 4th down, you've got to punt this and try to get to overtime. There's no decision to be made in my estimation.
The Patriots send out their punter as he's on to kick it away. A 40-yard punt, no return, and out will come the offense as they take over. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play, but if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. Roethlisberger. Pass complete to Ebron. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45.
Good job there of getting his tight end involved because he lines up on the right side of the formation, just works his way across the field. I really like how they were in sync on that one. He spotted the open gap in the zone, and his quarterback found him, and they get a 1st down.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Now Ben. And his throw is incomplete. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is it just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Ben gonna throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Matt Judon able to drop him that time for his second sack of the evening. So the sack, and now a 3rd and long situation for the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger. This is Harris. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds remaining. The Steelers send out their punter now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. That'll be a 43-yard punt, just a single yard on the return. And the Pats will be backed up deep to get the drive started as they take over 1st and 10. New England's offense set to go. They have a little bit of time here to get into field goal range. Not much. In a tie game, you don't want to do anything crazy, right?
I agree with you on that one. Risk reward, okay? If you go for it, what is the absolute reward on this? But the risk is probably greater. Run the clock out, get to overtime, and try and win it there.
All right, we'll see if they do just that. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. They'll start the drive with Harris. And not a whole lot there, maybe 3 yards on 1st down. T.J. Watt in on the tackle. Again, it's Harris on 2nd down. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. And we need overtime to decide this one after 4 quarters of play. We're all even. The extra session in a moment. This is the NFL on EA Sports. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
Nothing between these two teams for 4 quarters. Here we go to begin overtime. And we will not see a return to start overtime. It'll come out to the 25-yard line. New England trying to get a place on offense. They're set for their first drive here in overtime. And this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. A handoff to Harris to begin the drive. And he'll work this forward for about 3 and 2nd down. Short gain there to start overtime.
Almost a tester play, wasn't it? Wanted to see if the guys on defense were going to fit the gaps the correct way because we're in overtime. So it's not just physical tiredness out there, right? Mentally, are you still doing what you're supposed to do? And they were up to the task on that play.
And certainly fatigue on both sides of the football. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Hoping to keep this OT drive alive. Now they face a 3rd and 2. Now a first throw here in overtime. He's got Henry, and they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. This is a big spot for a rookie QB, and overtime's kind of where you earn your stripes, isn't it?
It really is, and we've talked with enough coaches and players about how these youngsters are getting into the game and playing this at such a high level so early. But overtime, that's an entirely different animal, and he's handling it well.
Yeah, starting to put together a nice drive. Now another timeout called for by the offense. They'll be left with just 1 remaining here in OT. To throw is Jones. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. Another nice job there defensively. They've really stymied their passing attempts, and it continues in overtime.
And for them to do that, that means they've had to be cohesive on defense. Pressure in the quarterback's face. Good coverage of not just the wide receivers, but the tight end, the running backs when they try and slip out, and making sure they're at the point of attack. When the ball's in the air, they get there and help force some of those incompletions.
Now a pass here caught by Hunter Henry. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 36. Charles, you get into these overtime situations, that's not a bad guy to dial into.
Well, when you have to have plays, especially in a spot as you just described, we're in OT, you've got to go to the guys you can trust and you know are going to make the plays. Well, they say it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmys and the Joes.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 36. Jones. It's complete. James White. And he gets us down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
On 2nd down, it's Harris. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. That's their 2nd and last timeout here in the overtime session. We'll be back. Hoping to keep this OT drive alive. Now they face a 3rd and 2. Jones. He'll get this to his tight end. It's Jonnu Smith. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. Time. How about 2? We need another. We're still even. We'll switch sides and have that 2nd overtime in just a moment. So a big move here, playing to win in overtime. They're going to go for it on 4th down. They're going for it. This is Harris. And I'm not sure he got there. Did they stop him? They did. He needed a yard. He didn't get anything. And this Steeler defense able to come up with a stop. And defensively, they were ready for that. A full-on blitz on fourth down, and they stop him short of the marker.
Oh, and someone's got to feel really good about that, and that's the defensive coordinator. He dialed up a great run blitz defense, and they hit it just right. Stack that thing up. They're going to feel awesome going to the bench after that big play.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. First throw in overtime now for Roethlisberger. His throw incomplete. Once that ball was popped in the air, you could almost hear the silence, the collective breath being held here in the stadium.
Let's be honest about it. We both came out of our chairs, didn't we? All right, anytime you see the ball in the air like that, there is that collective rise, the crowd holding its breath. And boy, oh boy, the moment of truth as it comes down. Man, that was something.
Everything magnified here in overtime. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now a 1st down carry for Harris. Able to power through. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Second and 6. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Harris. Fights off the defender. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. Now another timeout called for by the offense. They'll be down to just 1 remaining as we step aside here in overtime. So into Pat's territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Now a give. Running left is Harris. Dante Hightower on the stop.
That's it, baby.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. They'll try the right side with Harris. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. 49 yards rushing for him now as he was just trying to will his guys to an overtime victory. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. It'll be their 2nd and final timeout, remember, here in overtime. We'll be back. They'll run on 1st down. Harris. And if there was a lane there, it closed up quickly as he stopped for no gain. 2nd down. So the OT clock hits 0, and we're still not done. We'll switch sides and need at least 1 more OT to decide it after this. Second and 10. Now Roethlisberger. And this is incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. Here's Ben. Right side, Claypool's got it. And they will rally and stop him short of the 1st down. They get him to the ground at the 26. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So here we go. On now is the kicker, Chris Boswell. On the right hash, it's a 43-yard attempt. And he got it! The kick is good in overtime. He's able to split the uprights. And the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. So a good kick there, and they put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the throw.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
The storyline of this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent. And how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column too.